Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Alpha Sharks live overview. We're going to be going over the update that we had actually go on the last week. We're going to give it a few minutes for some people to jump in here, and we'll get started. All right. Hey, what's going on, guys? Suarez here. We're doing an overview on the Alpha Sharks update for this week. Welcome those watching outside of Discord, so whether that's Twitch, Twitter, any outside platform, we welcome you. So we're actually going to look to pretty much get into the overview of Sharks. But before I do jump into that, I do want to say for those who are watching and are looking to enter the raffle that we usually do at the end of our session, today it's going to be a little different. To actually be put inside the raffle, you'd have to make a tweet adding myself and Alpha Sharks and one thing you took away from the session. So whether that's criticism or something you liked, something you didn't like, pretty much anything, and we'll be picking 3 winners from there. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything to kind of take note of, that's a cool way to potentially win some prizes for just showing up. So let's just go right into it. All right, so this first portion I'm looking at is going to be the trending page. So first thing, again, I like to go over is 24-hour volume. This is one thing I always do. It's almost religious at this point, because again, I would like to see what's quote unquote normal for the day. Sometimes here on volume, we'll have 100 ETH volume be quote unquote normal. Other days we'll have 50 ETH volume be quote unquote normal. Some days we'll have 250 ETH volume be normal. So this is kind of a good mediator to see where we truly stand within the demand of the day, or at least the time frame that we're on. So we can see Broman NFT 256 ETH volume traded. So anything usually with triple digit ETH volume traded is definitely something to keep an eye on, because we can see also triple digit ETH here with Doge Club. Then look at the breakdown from 256 ETH to 33 ETH. We can see significantly that there's less demand inside this pixel mines as opposed to Broman, at least on this 24-hour time frame. And again, this is why we look at volume, because this is directly telling us how much money is actually going into the project, how much true demand is there going to be. And look at this one here. We have Yin Yang, which is 167 ETH volume traded. But a key thing to look at is notice where it actually minted. There's only a few candlesticks here, meaning that this must have recently just minted out. And this is something we definitely want to keep an eye on, because first, it has triple digit ETH and it's on the 24-hour time frame. And notice this is already beating all these 4 other mints combined just on volume, and this is minted, I'm assuming, within the last few hours. So this is one we're definitely going to keep an eye on here. And yeah, we can go down the screen and see pretty much the same thing. So 167, 9 ETH, something probably we're not going to want to be taking a look at. 3 ETH, definitely not. 4 ETH, 34. So anything with triple digit ETH volume is something that we're going to want to definitely be looking at. Anything above like 50, 75 ETH volume traded, it's going to be some potential for sure, but anything kind of under that is not really on the radar unless you're looking for something like a longer term swing. So ideally, once we have that, we see what volume's coming in on the day. Then I like to go into smaller time frames. So you can go 12 hour, 6 hour, 1 hour. I like going into the 1 hour and seeing, again, are there other projects that we saw on the 24-hour that are popping up on the 1 hour as well? And there are a few. We have Project Yin Yang, which was one that we were talking about earlier. Notice this has 15 ETH volume traded in the hour. And again, this is double-digit ETH volume traded in the last hour. So we're seeing this is somewhat normal. Look at this though. Look at Renga. Renga takes out volume ETH traded on the hour, comparing Yin Yang and Doge Club together. So we can see there's definitely some demand within the last hour on Renga for sure. And notice too that you have the blue chip you have two blue chips right next to that, insinuating that it has higher than a 20% NDCP, which is something that we always talk about if you guys happen to come to these sessions often. So this one's really interesting to kind of check out as well. So we're seeing pretty much 40 ETH volume is kind of the top within the hour. And then we have our Yin Yang and Doge Club. So notice how it's like the process of elimination at this point. And we're trying to pretty much figure out where the demand is at. And we pretty much have done that. So now we have a handful of projects that we're looking at this point. So again, let's go into a smaller time frame. And here we can see, again, we have a top volume ETH traded project, which is going to be Project Yin Yang. It's just about doubling the demand of Doge Club here, and actually has doubled the amount of sales. So ideally, we're going to go with checking out Project Yin Yang right now. Let me jump in the comments to see if we have any questions real quick. Yes, if you guys have any questions regarding any of the stats that we're kind of looking at, or if I'm going over something a little too quickly, don't be afraid to type that out. Borg, yes, these are recorded. We will be getting those out to you once we get the downloads. So yes, they are recorded. Okay. I see another question being typed. So another class is in 5 hours. No, the next session is going to be tomorrow at 7:15 p.m. Eastern. So we do them Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern, and Tuesdays on 7:15 p.m. Eastern. Trying to keep that consistent as possible, but times and days are subject to change. But yeah, ideally 2 a week, and then looking to push into other Discords to show the tool as well, so other people can see what we have over here. Great questions. But let's actually jump into Project Yin Yang, because we have seen some volume coming in within at least the last minting vicinity. So one of the things I do like to come in here and do is I like looking at the Alpha Sharks expert chart first, meaning the scatter chart, and I like putting this on the longest time frame I can see. And again, we can see that this was actually minted out, what was this, 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago, somewhere around there. So fairly a recent project. And I wish we could have seen this earlier, but yeah, this is going to be a very key chart to look at. And one thing I like to do is utilize the P&L, especially when you're going off of just mints, because one of the things we like to see is pretty much once these projects start to mint out, usually you have your very first initial flippers looking to flip their profit and get out. Pretty much de-risk their position. And what P&L is showing us is pretty much telling us, is this person selling for a profit or are they selling for a loss? And again, green is going to be in profit, red is going to be at a loss. And initially off the rips, when we're looking for an initial buy up, let's go on like a 5-minute chart. So when we're looking for an initial dip that we always kind of talk about, so we always talk about picking a range, meaning we have a top zone and we have, let me mitigate that a little bit, and we have a bottom zone, right? So we have our two portions already established, and one of the things I have been talking about these last times, let me do this on a smaller time frame, is drawing trend lines. And trend is going to be your friend, guys. Make sure you guys really try to utilize this view. because this is really going to give you a very solid insight on how the momentum is actually forming. So here, if you just drew this trend line from, let's say, the initial sale to, I guess, the last high, you can see that we're still not breaking trend. Until we actually break out of that lower low, we're pretty much just on this downward movement and staying within this channel at this point. So also, one thing we do have to know, there was some fundamentals on this with the mint out, where I believe it was I could be mistaken on this. I believe it's 5,000 that was paid mint, and then I believe there's another 5,000 supply that is coming that is free mint, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody could, if they could, correct me on that if I'm getting that wrong. But I believe that there's still 5,000 supply left, which is why we started to see this downward trend, because we got to think, if we have total supply and a pretty decent owner supply ratio, but our listings keep rising over time, this is not going to help our price out at all, because we know listings are going to go up because supply is going to go up. And it just gives it more potential at that point. And notice what's happening with our volume. Our volume is not even coming in. So when everybody's up here trying to flip and resell and trying to buy the dip, the one thing I like to tell people is make sure you're watching two things at this point, because initially, you know, more supply is coming in, so you need demand to match that. What's our demand doing here? What's our volume doing? It's decreasing. Look at this white average right here. This is average volume. What is average volume doing over time? It's creating lower highs, meaning less demand that's coming in at this point. And as I say that, we're getting demand coming in at this point. But let's focus on this portion. The idea that, again, looking for that initial dip for a potential pushback up is something I like to play. But again, knowing the fundamental background of this was probably going to help you know this, because let's say the supply stood at 5,000, this chart could have been very different due to the over allocation that they had. But again, drawing our trend lines and saying, when we break out of a trend, we're looking for 100% move of that trend or of that range. So you guys are going to trip out on this. Notice where we actually happen to break trend and where our actual initial top actually happens to be. Down here, 8.2, which was the top of our sale. And again, we can see that it's just breaking back into that range. And what we're doing now over time is pretty much just accumulating in this zone here. But we can see why we're getting initial volume at this point now. Because again, look, where's that tool at? So initial top, or lower high, then we have a low, then we have another low, then we have a low that has preceded our last low right here. And what this is telling us, again, if we switch this to the Alpha Sharks chart here, all of these sales will be red because nobody will be in the money unless the person that bought right here is actually selling, which is telling us that this is one of the most least risk mitigated trades here, because betting 0.04 or risking, let's say, this last low of 0.01, so let's say you're risking 0.03 to potentially make 100% break out of the range. So if we can happen to break out of this accumulation zone that we're in, we're looking for 100% move of that. So let's change this to like a yellow and a blue so you guys can see this better. So right now we're just accumulating in this range, and this is why you're starting to see this volume come in, because they're starting to see, hey, how much more am I really risking at this point? They're already up 50% from their initial dip buy down here. Um, and again, they can start selling out some, but this is why we start to look at one of the major factors, which is listings. And look at over time. We're looking within the last 20 minutes. Notice what happens to start with our listings. From about 20 minutes ago, we started to plateau at about 1270 listings. So where's that? Right here, right at this point. And once we started plateauing, and again, look at what's happening with our average volume going. Now we're rising over time as opposed to declining over time. You guys see why this is very important to kind of check out here. Because again, this is saying right here at this point, this is where our listings have maxed out. Now we're going down exponentially and we have demand coming in. You guys see why that is very powerful information to understand. Because again, this is not random. People think price action is random, and it's not. It's very calculated, even if you don't know what you're doing. Just based on a psychological level, TA works out very well in these cases, and we're seeing it pretty much happen right in front of our eyes. But let me see, I kind of went on a rant there. We have a few questions. Binks, I don't know if you said it there, but I don't know if you said it, but there will be the Freeman's incoming for a yin yang hard cap is 10K. Okay, yes, perfect, thank you. So it is confirmed 10K, and I do believe the 5K that is coming in is in a few hours or something like that. I could be wrong, but I know that they do have, I think, another 5,000 coming in that's free. So I think that's why we ended up seeing just think about it from a seller perspective. If more supply is going to come in and you can sell for a profit up here and buy in potentially lower, and you can buy more with that profit, why wouldn't you do that? And again, if everybody kind of has that same mindset, it's more likely to happen than not. So yeah. Bork, I guess this is off topic, but can we buy through our burner wallet instead of hold our wallet through View? That's a good question. I have to confirm that. I honestly can't give you 100% on that. That is my fault. I should definitely know that. But yeah, I'll get back to you on that for sure, Bork. How could we predict that right low? Really, it honestly comes down to, I would say, drawing our trend lines. It's an accumulation of things. It's not like, oh, if it breaks the trend line, it's a buy, or if it doesn't break over it, it's a sell. There's very little trades that kind of happen that way, or structured that way. It's an accumulation of things, which is why, again, Sharks is very powerful in the data it provides, because again, it gives us the overview for kind of all traders, not just momentum traders or swing traders. It's giving us data for most time frames for most people who are trading on all time frames. So it really comes down to watching the breaks of our trend lines and watching the correlation from listings and our volume. If you can start to see, again, this point right here, 11 o'clock my time, which is right here on the trading view chart, you're going to tell me that our volume starts to rise very randomly over time at a bottom support zone, while our listings start to plateau. This is not random price action, guys. This is a very calculated trade. And think about it. If you took this trade here, you're up 50%. Again, who cares about the numbers? This could be 0.6 ETH. Let's move the decimal over one. You move that, that's a nice chunk of change. But yes, it's a combination of things. It's seeing our owner supply ratio. It's seeing how thin our walls are. Notice, look how many greens we have. There's not many people with purples and 10 plus tokens, or 5 plus 7 plus tokens. Lots of greens, meaning our walls are very thin. The one thing that was concerning earlier was that listings kept going up exponentially. But the idea was that listings should start to plateau over time, where again people are going to start losing money. Where if you put this on the Alpha Sharks view and have it on P&L, look at all this red that's going on. This is everybody from here is red on the trade. So again, if we're looking for people to buy the fear, this is where the least risk mitigated trade is actually going to be. And let's say the trade doesn't work out. Let's say you happen to buy 0.05 and it dipped to 0.025. It happens. It's gonna happen. You're gonna get stopped out most times. But the one thing I like to tell people is that the one thing you can really manage inside any market that you're trading is gonna be your risk. The reward is very rarely you can control that, but risk is something that we can control. And if you can risk one portion to make 3 times that, and you can do that, set yourself up that position over and over and over again, it's more likely to add up over time than not. Because even in that case, let's say you're risking, I'll put this in super basic terms, let's say you're risking $1, or let's say $100. You're risking $100 and you have 3 trades, and you're risking $100 to make $300. Let's say you miss 2 times, you're down $200. But that third one, again, you have set up, you're risking 100 to make 300, and that one hits. You're up $100 while still having a losing position and losing winning percentage. I hope that kind of makes sense. And again, that's fully based on managing our risk. That has nothing to do with controlling the reward, right? Managing our risk is one of the only things that we can truly do, guys. So again, if you guys can help set up or see these setups for least risk mitigated positions, it's something to consider, because I know you guys have heard the buy low, kind of sell high mantra. And you guys can see the trend line break right here. And again, notice where the volume happens to come in. Right on that trend line break. It's not random, guys. It's not random. And look at randomly, quote unquote, where our listings started to decrease and plateau right at this price point as well. So right here was the optimal entry. Obviously this is hindsight, but again, doing this over and over and over again and doing this with different projects over time is definitely going to help us see the potential reversal at this point. So cool. Let's see if there's any more questions. Dylan, my Alpha Shark still, heck yeah, man. Okay, I'm gonna give another quick breakdown for those who were not here in the beginning. We do usually do a raffle at the end of the session, but today we're going to be doing it a little different. We're going to be, in order to enter the raffle, we're going to have 3 winners today. But in order to enter, you'd have to actually tweet myself, which I will drop a link to my Twitter. And you will also have to tag the Alpha Sharks main account as well. And all we're asking is for one takeaway that you've had from the session or prior sessions. And we will definitely be announcing those winners and taking into account those people who actually put in those raffle choices. So I'm going to drop the Twitter for myself and Alpha Sharks inside the Educator chat, and we will go forward from there. All right. So again, just so everybody kind of knows, if you guys do want to be a part of the raffle, you guys can tag myself. I put that inside Educator chat, our Twitters, and then one takeaway from the actual session. But again, this is just a kind of halfway breakdown. But yeah, again, appreciate you guys coming down here, because it just shows that you guys are actually looking to put in the time and actually learn something of value. And I hope I can kind of provide that for y'all. So are there any questions on this kind of trend line breakout that we saw with Yin Yang? And does anybody know when the rest of the 5K supply is actually coming in? That would be something really interesting to see if we can see that live. Well, thanks for the tips. Yeah, no worries. 4 p.m. EST. Okay, cool. Thanks, Santos. Dylan. It can be from any session. It honestly doesn't matter. This session, any session, as long as you tweet myself, Alpha Sharks, then just one takeaway. But yeah, let's see. Let's see if we got anything else kind of going on. Seems like it's kind of paused up for a bit. 20 James, what's your question, James? 2200, I think. Oh, okay, yeah. 4 p.m. Eastern for sure. I appreciate that. Okay, so it's in about a few hours. But yeah, definitely watch the amount of listings when that supply actually drops, if anybody's still in that trade. That's gonna be something you definitely want to keep an eye on. I think I don't know, you have an hour and a half till the rest of the supply comes up. So you could potentially see buyers starting to come in, buy it up right before, and then start to sell off again before the rest of the supply comes in. But I think once the rest of the supply comes in and you kind of get the retrace and see, maybe we could retest this bottom trend line and use it as a potential support, I think we get another move that kind of looks like this. Again, this is total speculation, but just conceptually from what it's done off the mint, this could definitely be the same type of move and setup that we could be seeing going into the, I guess, excess supply and the run out of the excess supply, I guess. Cool. Okay. Let's go into one of the things that we really got added. So one of the things, if you guys have not checked out yet, is going to be the bidding tool. And this is very, very an awesome feature, I think, that we've implemented. It's a very in-depth tool to pretty much send bids across any projects that we can see. So I'm going to kind of give a breakdown of how to, like, what we're looking at on the UI setup. So up here we have the actual project that we're looking for. So Alpha Sharks NFT, and we have, again, a quick little breakdown: supply, floor, royalty, and sales. Nice little clean UI setup. Then here we'll go to our filters, and here it's going to tell us the amount of items within the actual project. So it should be the amount of supply. And we can here toggle on sale only, or if we want to start bidding on ones that are not even on sale as well. Then here, this is where we get kind of into depth on what we want to kind of go into, which is, that's weird. That's where we should be able to pop up traits here. Oh, there you go. So when you actually go into filter and you click, ooh, that's odd. And you click traits, you should get all the traits to pop up. Still kind of buggy, but let's see. So that's not working out too well. But basically what you can do is filter out by per trait. So whatever trait on the collection that you're looking at, you can pretty much filter by that and only set bids on those particular items. So if you're looking for something that's above a floor price, let's say 0.5, you can filter just those particular ones that you want to bid on. And same thing with rank. So if you have top 1%, it's going to give you the numerical value of the total supply that considers it 1%, and then 5%, 10%, etc. So let's say you want to see bid on top 10%, and you could even individualize it by tokens. So with sharks, they're the 1 through 1,000 are going to be a little more valued. So you can also specify that there, and you can click apply. And the bidding strategy, with fixed bid strategy, the system is going to place the exact bid. So let's say the floor is 0.19. Let's say we wanted to bid 0.15, and here it's going to tell us how much percent either below or above the floor that we're actually offering. So it kind of gives us a cool breakdown on that. Loop, you can turn that on if you want to resubmit these offers over time. So let's say you wanted to send this offer every day. You can change that to 1 day and re-loop that offer for, again, 1 day. And stop price, you can also turn that on as well. And it will stop submitting when the floor price reaches, let's say, I don't know, 0.1 or prices, 0.1 or prices greater than 0.2. And you can also set the expiration time. So very detailed breakdown on what you can really bid on and how you can kind of plan strategically to bid on other projects. So this was the fixed bids kind of strategy. If you go into dynamic bids, this is going to give you a percentage of the floor. So let's say you're looking to offer 25% of the floor. That would be 0.0004. Let's do 50%. 0.095. So notice that's half of the floor right here. And again, you can also set that to be looped, set at a stop price, and also set the expiration for that as well. So yeah. Again, it's still in beta, so it might be a little buggy, kind of like we were seeing earlier, but this is definitely something to keep an eye on, because this is very, very useful for people who are looking to snipe rares particularly, and longer term projects. I believe this is going to be really helpful for. So we'll definitely be going over that bidding portion a lot more in detail when we actually get that up and running. Will it be possible to make collection offers soon? Yeah, for sure. You'll be able to make offers on full collections. Yeah, the coin and boost might be a different kind of trait because I agree. It does not show up, and I did pass that to the team, so we are working on that as well. Yeah, because I was also looking to snipe a shark as well. Seems like you were trying to do the same, Ludo. Good idea. Ayahuasca, love the update. Yeah, man, we're working, man. It's getting there. The beautiful thing is it's coming from all of you guys. All the input is really coming from all of you guys, and we're trying to mold that and innovate that and make that the most efficient for all of us, not just for a particular niche of traders. We're trying to make this all in one. So whether you're momentum, whether you're swing trade, whether you're day trader, it doesn't matter. We're looking to kind of implement all of those ideas and concepts into the platform. And yeah, without you guys, none of this is possible. So again, I just really want to give you guys some big ups over there, because I know you guys don't have to show up to these sessions, and it just shows the type of people that you guys are building yourselves around. I think speaks a lot to your guys' character. So I really appreciate that. Um, let me see if there's any more questions. Okay, we're getting a question typed. I'll give it time to type out real quick. Oh, stop typing. Okay. So what I'm going to do again here is, for those who were not here earlier, we usually do raffles for people who do show up to the live streams. So today's gonna be a little different. We're not gonna be doing a live wheel, but we will be doing raffle entries through Twitter. And I'm gonna drop a link to the people you do have to tag and the one contingency that you have to type out on Twitter. So it's gonna be tagging myself, tagging Alpha Shark's Twitter, and also tagging one takeaway that you took away from either this session, prior sessions, anything. Whether you have criticism, you think it was a terrible session, let us know. We are really looking to kind of get the feedback from everybody outside on Twitter as well. So I will post that inside the Educator chat. Cool. Okay, so the Twitter should be posted. Again, there's going to be 3 prizes given out, and yeah, I'm really excited for you guys to come down here and kind of give suggestions on what we should be kind of looking at for future implementation. So I guess I'll kind of open up the floor to anybody who wants to either give suggestions or have any concerns regarding the tool. Right here's kind of the open space to do that, because we do go over these sessions as a team and take the key breakdowns and try to utilize, again, the suggestions that are used by the people that are here, and utilizing the tool and really pushing the tool to kind of be better and the best that it actually can be. So yeah, if you guys have any concerns or comments, suggestions, drop them here. No questions. I think everybody's typing on Twitter. I'm getting lots of notifications over there, so that's good. That's really good to see. Awesome. Again, just want to open up the floor to anybody who has any questions before we kind of wrap this thing up. James, it would be amazing to have like volume settings on volume with time frames. You're able to do that with, so let's go to Project Yang Yang again. So if you go into, what is that? That's interesting. So if you go into Trading View, do you mean like a numerical value? Oh, so on the bidding tool. No, that's what you meant. That would be interesting. Yeah, I will definitely pass that to the team. That's a very good suggestion. I hear you, because yeah, being able to not see price action when you're wanting to bid is kind of tough. I hear you, James. That's a really good suggestion. Thank you. Alright. Cool. It doesn't seem like we have any more questions. Cool. So again, I'll just give this to you guys one more time. First, I just want to thank you guys for coming out. And again, if you guys would like to enter inside the raffle for the giveaway today, it's going to be a little different. We're not doing the wheel. We're going to be doing a tweet entry. So I posted in Educator chat what the requirements are, tagging myself, Alpha Sharks, and one takeaway from the session. And yeah, If you guys can do that, you guys will be entered inside the giveaway, and we will be getting the winners posted either tonight or tomorrow, and we'll be getting that right to you guys. So I think that's gonna wrap it up for this session. James, you have a question on the bidding tool. I saw that when you do 3 collections at the same time, there are a lot more failures. On 2 it works perfectly fine. Yeah, we're still in beta phase right now, so we're really trying to work those kinks out. But thank you for that. We're definitely need all that feedback that we need for sure. Crazy Spooks, thanks mate. Learned some more today. Awesome, man. That's the goal. If you can learn 1% a day, it's 365% a year, man. So glad you learned something, brother. Bork, can we just retweet your live stream? Nope. You have to tag myself, Alpha Sharks, and One Takeaway. You will get multiple entries if you do a thread. I did forget to mention that. That was my bad. If you do a nice thread, you're getting a few more entries there. So if you guys have the time to sit down and write a mini thread and tag us, you might have a better shot to win. So that's some nice alpha for you guys that have actually stood to the end. Yeah. Jan, thanks for hosting. Appreciate it. Nah, no worries, brother. Great session. This is, by the way, my first one. See you next time. Awesome, man. Glad you came to a good one. Really appreciate the bidding tool. Thanks. Almost had to buy a bidding tool. No worries, man. We're trying to do it all over here. Ozzy Move, always learning in the space. Crazy Spooks, can we watch this back? Yes, these will be recorded. If you want to see it immediately, they're actually live on my Twitter. You can go back and watch that immediately. They will be getting posted on YouTube and Twitch. Yeah, YouTube for sure, Twitch maybe. But yeah, we will be getting those up for you guys to rewatch for sure. Mr. Nice Watch, my first live session today was great so far. I learned a lot. The only thing I don't understand on the viewers is the ladder, but I probably found out in other sessions. Yeah, for sure, Mr. Nice Guy. There's so much to the tool. Don't be afraid to ask questions, man. We'll definitely, there's no dumb question. Everybody's started with not knowing what was going on, so we're trying to get everybody on the same page as well, man. So glad you had a good first session, man. Thanks for coming out. Pompos, thanks for easy accent. As always, appreciate you guys coming down. All right, seems like we're wrapping it up now, guys. Again, just really appreciate you guys coming down here and giving these criticisms and giving the suggestions to kind of make the tool the most efficient that we can. But yeah, really appreciate you guys coming down. Don't forget to enter into the raffle. Tag myself, Alpha Sharks, and One Takeaway. If you guys do a thread, you guys get multiple entries. We do have another session tomorrow, 7:15 p.m. Eastern. If you guys are interested in that, definitely come down. There will be more giveaways for that as well. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming down here, and we will be back at it tomorrow. If I don't catch you tomorrow, we'll catch you guys next week. But yeah, again, I really appreciate you guys coming down. So I will catch you guys on the next one.